This is Old Movies for Young People. I'm Paul Bellini, and today we're going to look at the career of Hollywood screenwriter Anita Loos. Anita Loos was born in California in 1888. She knew she wanted to be a writer at age 6, as she followed her alcoholic father on his excursions into the city's underbelly. This started a lifelong fascination with floozies. In 1911, she sold a script to D.W. Griffith called The New York Hat, starring Mary Pickford and Lionel Barrymore. It was a hit, and between 1912 and 1915, Loos worked constantly, turning out over 100 scripts and becoming the first ever female staff scriptwriter in Hollywood. From there, Loos and her husband John Emerson wrote screenplays together for, among others, Douglas Fairbanks. Emerson ultimately turned out to be a disappointing husband. So one summer, she went off to Paris with her friend Constance Talmadge, and their adventures built the foundation for what was to be her most popular work, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. The book version, the best-selling novel of 1925, saw 85 editions and was translated into 14 languages. The first film version of Blondes, released in 1928, was a flop. The author, however, was not, moving on to write Red-Headed Woman for Jean Harlow. The studios loved Loos because she could write sexy female roles, carefully balancing double entendres and innuendo. Then she adapted the stage hit The Women. The movie, about a group of rich married women dealing with infidelity and aging, is quite possibly the gayest movie ever made. Despite her success in Hollywood, her marriage to Emerson fell apart after he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Though she cared for him, she also led her own life, and even had a romance with Maurice Chevalier. Then, in 1953, Howard Hawks directed the famous version of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, starring Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell. Quite possibly the other gayest movie ever made. It was a huge hit as well, and though Loos was not involved in the film, she basked in the spotlight of its success. She continued to write for magazines, publish novels and memoirs, and live the life of a socialite. And she was one of the few writers who was familiar to audiences not just for her wit, but also for her hair, a famously tousled, flirty hairdo. Loos is lone proof that a woman could succeed as a writer in Hollywood, and it can be said that her sophisticated sexiness had a huge impact on the 20th century. She died in 1983 in New York at the age of 93. This has been Paul Bellini for Old Movies for Young People.